guys, it's Mrs. Tucker. Okay, here's another 8th grade level concept that you're expected to know for your STAR test. Histograms. In statistics, a histogram is a graphical representation showing a visual impression of the distribution of data. Didn't we just get done talking about distribution of data? How you can show distribution of data with a box and whisker plot? We may or may not have talked about that. Usually I teach histograms before box and whisker plots. Anyway, a histogram is a type of graph that has wide applications in statistics. Histogram allows a visual interpretation of numerical data by indicating the number of data points that lie within a range of values. The frequency of the data that falls in each of those range values is depicted by the use of a bar. Okay, I know you guys are familiar with bar graphs, and here I've got an example of a bar graph, and I've got an example of a histogram. I want you to take a look at those two, and I want you to tell me what is the same, what are the similarities between a bar graph and a histogram, and what are the differences between a bar graph and a histogram. All right, I'll pause this video, or you can pause it, and then I want you to think about that. All right, definitely the similarities between a bar graph and a histogram is the use of bars. We're using bars to represent numbers of something, how many fall in each one of these categories. Now for a bar graph, did you hear me use the word category? Maybe I should just type this up, that'd be easier. Bar graphs are definitely used when you want to talk about how many items fall within a certain category. That's definitely when we use bar graphs. Now the difference between a bar graph and a histogram, see this has comedies, action, romance, drama, and sci-fi, different types of movies. Those are categories of things, and maybe how many kids prefer those different types of movies. Where a histogram shows a spread of data. Whatever it is that we're counting here, the data, there is one data point that falls in the range from 0 to 10. There were 3 data points that fall in the range from 10 to 20. There was 6 data points that fall in the range from 20 to 30. And another thing I noticed, the difference between these two, notice this open space between these bars on a bar graph. Bar graphs can have space in between the bars, but what do you notice about histograms? Those bars touch one another. There is no space because where this bar leaves off, the next bar picks up. So this could be like 0 to 9.9999, and this would be 10 to 19.9999, and this would be 20 to 29.9999. So the bars do need to touch. They need to be next to one another. All right, so I want to show you how to make a histogram. I've got this set of data here, and we're going to use this to make a histogram. It says a frequency table at the right shows the scores of all NFL teams for the first game of the 2005 season. Draw a histogram to represent the data. Okay, somebody took all of the scores and they first put down tally marks. You know, how many teams wound up making the scores in this range. They did tally marks, and that is called a frequency table when you do the tally marks. And then they turned tally marks into an actual number. So I turned each one of those tally marks into a number, and these are the numbers, the frequency for each one of these scores. That's what always goes on your y-axis, is the frequency. Okay, so 0 to 9 is going to be my first bar. Oh, and another thing I need to mention, the width of the bars have to be the same. So if you decide that the bars are all going to be, you know, you want to go from 0 to 5, then it's going to go from 5 to 10. Well, it would really be 0.40 to 4.9999, and then 5 to 5.999. The bar widths all have to be the same. If the bar widths are the same, the person making the histogram doesn't know what they're doing. All right, so we're going to call this score 0 to 9, but I'm going to make that look like 9.99999 and put the bar at 10. So let's make our bars red. And in that category, that bar should go up to 7. So my first bar, which goes out to 9.9999999, is this one right here. Here's my first bar on my histogram. All right? And my second bar from 10 to 19.999 goes up to 8. So here's the height of my next bar. Okay? And see how my bars are touching? That's what you want to do with the histogram. And then the next range of data, you know, the next spread of 10, there's 13. It goes all the way up to 13. So that bar goes up that high, and the 2 bars touch. And then the next bar is only 3 high. That's right here. All right, like that. And then the last bar is only 1 high to here. All right, and then if you want to color them in, you can. And I definitely need a title down here at the bottom. These are football scores. I left that off. Let's put that in there. Football scores 2005 football season. Every graph has to have a title, and then I would definitely title this NFL team scores. I would put a title across the top. All right, but that's how you go about making a histogram. That's really it. And I've got a worksheet for you where you're going to practice making 4 histograms. So good luck with that, guys.